If I see one more company asking for a credit card while they're offering a free service on Google, I will patent this credit card wall technology and I will sue them. Anyways, I'm building my own private AI chatbot, which is a totally reasonable project to take on, and I want to show you how to do it. Why? Well, you've probably seen the headlines. Ironically, though, this script has been improved by ChatGPT as I'm sitting here complaining about it, which is a type of hypocrisy that's, well, very me, I would say. But I did think about it. What if my data just did not live on someone else's computer? It's a revolutionary concept, I know. But here's the cool part, though. Once you have a large language model running on your own server, you don't just have a really cool chatbot working for you. You can also make your own little AI agents, and that's really the start to building an intelligent assistant. You know, you're now building your own agents, your own slightly confused interns, and suddenly the €200 GPU server that you bought doesn't feel like such a bad investment anymore. That's what I tell myself anyway, because every time I open my bank account, I really wonder, is that something I should have done? You know, the €200 could have probably paid for a real assistant, at least for a couple hours, which might have been more useful than than a little GPT running, but who knows? It's a good investment, and if you don't agree, then I don't care what you have to say. But hey, enough about me. You're really here to know how to make your own AI chatbot, and I'm here to show you. And what you're gonna need is a NVIDIA graphics card with a tiny bit of VRAM, I would say about 8 gigs at least. If you're not running NVIDIA, then my technical support ends here until somebody gives me a job in ICT. If you have that, that's already half the battle done. What you're gonna have to do is install Ollama. And if you don't know how to do that, well, if you're on Linux, here's a cool command to run. And if you're not on Linux, then maybe you could just go to the website and install it from there. About that command though, did I fully read the documentation on what any of that does? No. Does it work? Yes. Now, Ollama is very cool because next to LM Studio, it lets you run large language models locally. But because Ollama is kind of headless, it has no UI, you can just set it up on your server and connect to it. Which means no cloud, no subscriptions, no we just changed our policy emails, or no haha, all your data is now on the internet, and you get a funny little name, Ollama, that you can type into your terminal. How great is that? Oh yeah, and don't forget to actually update your drivers. If you don't know how to do that, there's plenty of tutorials online, and if you're on Windows, it's actually very straightforward. You can just use like GeForce Experience or some other tool like that. Now obviously, once you're done, you want to test it. So you can use Ollama from the terminal to pull up a model and to actually start immediately talking to it. Now this looks great, let's say hello to it. And it responds. Now if your GPU sounds like a jet engine or the lights in your street just turned off, perfect. That's AI working exactly as intended. So at last it lives. We have created artificial intelligence. This is probably fine. Now I know what you want to know. How do we make it say bad things on the internet or make it do things it says is unethical? More on that after I finish my probation meeting. Okay, so let's talk accessing this thing. If it's running on your computer, you're basically just done. But if it's operating somewhere remotely, you probably just want to set up an SSH tunnel. Yes, and we are tunneling the tunnel because nothing says clean networking architecture than 3 layers of networking hacks. Now it feels like it's running locally, but it's absolutely not. But hey, at least it answers the question that I had a couple videos ago, which is how can I make it feel like it's operating locally without actually operating it locally. Now all you're missing is a web interface. Now normal people would just go ahead and install Open Web UI, which works out of the box with Ollama, and then just configure it and would be off. But me personally, I think Open Web UI is still a little bit too feature rich for me, so I've decided to build my own using Blazor Server. And yes, I'm using Blazor Server because I enjoy JavaScript developers feeling very uncomfortable watching me write this code. I just want a simple WhatsApp type of UI, a little chat box, and maybe an insert button, no history, no fancy stuff. You might ask why I'm not showing me writing this HTML markup. It's because I didn't write it. Now I know what you're thinking, no history? Well, that's the price to pay for privacy. If you want to save something, you're gonna have to copy and paste it like we did back in the ancient times. That's just the internet's way of saying I couldn't be bothered to put the functionality in. So now we can connect our interface to Ollama. I would advise just using OpenAI's NuGet package, or you can create a very complicated HTTP client wrapper and go from there. I really can't tell what the difference is, mostly because I don't write my own code and I don't read it either. Now you just point it to your Ollama IP import and you're done. Congratulations, you're now your own AI startup. The valuation of your company right now? Pretty damn high. Now, does my UI work perfectly? Of course not. There's question. There's no markdown support. Okay, granted, to get markdown support, all we have to do is install Tailwind's typography extension, use prune, and then use markdig to convert markdown format to actual HTML elements. Another issue is that the AI won't stop talking about me. I told it to stop doing this, but it seems like it's obsessed with me. Anyway, this is nothing that sitting up at night until 2 a.m. fixing a system prompt won't solve. Alternatively, we could explore unethical type of jailbreaking for AI models, but I cannot show you how to do that because the advertisers wouldn't be happy with me and YouTube wouldn't be happy with me. Now, I don't have advertisers and YouTube really doesn't care about me, so it's more of a theoretical objection to prevent myself from getting retroactively penalized. Problem 3, user experience. What if the server is down? What if we lose connection? How about retrying, sending a message, editing a message, deleting it? Well, I'll leave that for you to solve. You can always just go to Fiverr. But to be serious though, after setting all of this up, it's actually a very nice time to learn about user experience and what features you really want from your chat with your AI chatbot. And I know that you and I will surely take a look we'll take a look at that. So now you're officially in competition with OpenAI, and I have just one question for you. What will you do with this power? Will you use it for good? Will you use it for evil? Because I know that you and I will definitely be using it for good. You guys are never gonna believe it, but this thing from the road, I'm pretty sure I can plug it into my phone. Surely nothing is gonna go wrong if I just plug this in here, huh? Well, nothing exploded. That means it must work. Okay, so I thought I was joking, but I plugged it into the phone where the port isn't broken, and now it says recording through USB microphone. I didn't think this would work at all.